Yes. Oh yeah, that sounds a lot better. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready now. Mic check, mic check, 1, 2, and we're live, y'all. How y'all doing, America? I'm back. Your favorite host or your favorite future host, I hope. Emos the Witness coming to you live, baby. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like I told you. Wave 1 Media. Catch me downtown, baby. 10 to 11 a.m., 120 East Market Street. Come down and get you a show. Come here and expose these political foes. All the deception, all the rhetoric that we hear every day. That's what I'm here for. I am your host, Emos the Witness. You can catch me on YouTube. Hit that like, subscribe button. I'm on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. Website coming soon, y'all. Again, we dig into news and politics. We dig into all the planned deception, all the misconceptions, all the side and slants events, all the political agendas that was out there. Here at Emos Witness, here to expose all that. Bring truth to power. Hold people accountable. So we're going to dig into news, politics, other issues, other agendas, other topics. Really get into it. I'm downtown, my man Malik and Wyatt. Come down here and get you a show. Wave 1 Media. They're two of the hardest working media moguls in the business. So we're going to dig into them. Let's get into some news of the day. It's Wednesday. Let's get into some background music. Let's talk about a few things that have been going on the last couple of days. You know, like I said, I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 120 East Market Street. We're getting into a little COVID update. Of course, the 1.9 trillion aid package, stimulus package as well, relief package, as the Biden administration calls it, has been signed by the Senate. Sent back down to the House for more adjustments and to be signed by the president. We'll dig into that here a little bit. Got some dog biting issues also in the White House. We'll talk about that as well. And we'll talk about some of these Democratic leaders that are currently back in the White House and some of the Democratic leaders that are in various states as well. We want to keep holding them accountable. We want to keep addressing various plans and agendas that they're implementing. Keep eye out on what's going on in the next 4 years. And I'll give you my reasons here momentarily. But we'll get into that. We'll also get into some of the state and local politics, what's going on in Georgia. A couple of changes to the election laws there. A couple of changes in a lot of states regarding election laws based on the results of the 2020 election and what happened last year. We'll dig into Trump as well, what he's been up to, how he's trying to clean house in the Republican Party, as well as stay on an attack against Democrats. And of course, Democrats are on the ropes, definitely on the state level. A lot of governors, a lot of politicians, a lot of senators, a lot of congressmen are under attack from their own misdealings. And it's good to see that here at the Emos the Witness show. Like I said, we're live downtown every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. at 120 East Market Street. Wave 1 Media. Please hit that subscribe button. Like me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that good big tech stuff. Go ahead and hit me up, find me, locate me. Like I said, we're going to this show. Like I said, I started this show last year as a project, and it's, we're still developing the show to where we want it to be. And like I said, I started the show to lend a new voice, a different voice, hopefully a people's voice, a fair, objective voice, where we dig into the issues, the articles, and we just try to see who's on our side. We try to see who tells the truth, and we try to find the truth where we can get it. I want you guys to be witnesses with me. I'm Emo's the witness, and we want to go through and witness this world together. We want to divide and conquer and find out who's in our best interest, so we can make this country a lot better than what it is currently. I mean, I think I've just been fed up since 2016 over what's been going on in politics. Just this constant rhetoric, constant nonsense, and always voting Democratic since I was able to vote, and made me go back and rethink some things, rethink what I was taught, and when you start hearing double talk, when you get older, when you have kids, when you graduate college, when you work a 9 to 5, and you jump through various different industries, and you see the world for what it is, and you travel, you build character, you build yourself up, and you start thinking for yourself. You stop following the group think, and that's what happened to me back in like 2012, actually. But 2016 is when I made my mark. 2016 is where I said, I'm going to vote for an outsider. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I know it's taboo. I know it sounds taboo. But it was a gentleman where it was a situation where it was about the issues. It wasn't about the politics as much as it was about the issues and what he put on his platform. Not only that, the brash leadership and the difference, the political Washington outsider, attacking politicians, attacking the swamp, trying to clean it up for how dirty it is and how dirty it still is. How can you go against that? Wouldn't you want someone to come clean up your life if he was able to? Clean up your company if you had a small business? That man came into this office 4 years ago with a plan to clean up Washington. A lot of politicians walk in and say that. They walk in with a campaign line like that, don't they? We're gonna clean up Washington. One park at a time. Motherfuckers clean up parks. And it's like, they're bullshitting you. And we had a person that came into the White House and he really meant it. And you could tell he meant it. Without even him speaking a word, that the level of attack that he faced in 4 years. I mean, this man was the most vetted president in 4 years. Constant investigations before and after election, constant trials and second impeachments, 2 acquittals. They don't want to say that part. They say 2 impeachments when they do political talk, but they don't mention the 2 acquittals, do they? But like I said, I mean, that's kind of bullshit, deception, and those kind of things that I want to fight back against. And I'll take any leader who wants to do those things. In my book, I don't care about your character as much as I care about how you lead this country. And that's what I miss about the last 4 years. I hope we can get back to that starting in 2022 midterm elections. I used to be a little nervous about talking about, being a Trump supporter, but I just, it really is common sense. I can be called very different names as a black man, and be doxxed or looked at or viewed a certain way. But to me, it's not really about what I call the fizz, like the race baiting tactics, the distractions, the name calling, like I said, you see it all during like election season mostly. But if you're really an individual that's all about the truth, all about you have foundation, you have principles that you believe in, none of that shit matters, because you're rooted, you're grounded. For myself, it's the Constitution. And to me, for myself, it's freedom for me. It really is. It's about the right for free speech, to protest, to bear arms, do what the fuck I want to do, go where the fuck I want to go, without you really knowing. And that bothers me too. Big tech and censorship and the invasion of your privacy. I mean, at this point, it's kind of like a defeatism. I mean, it's coming. Compel a high water when it comes to you just being totally open. I mean, the level of security on your personal identity is kind of tough to maintain. It's going to cost you. But either way, just technology just It's just way ahead of its time. And like I said, we have a leadership, and I have a lot of points, but I have a leadership. We have a leadership that, to me, is archaic. They're dinosaurs, and we have a future that is bright as a country, as a world. I just worry about these same olds leading us, along the way. And so, I need most of the witness. We're going to talk about some of these leaders today on the show, and what they're up to, their quirkiness, and we're going to stay on them. We're going to stay on them. We're going to stay on Hollywood. We're going to stay on industry leaders, all their viewpoints and all their nonsense, because they have an influence. They have an influence. Just like big tech, they all have an influence on us and where we head and what we think and what we say and how we act. Aren't you tired of being told something over and over again, and then years later you found that it was bullshit? It wasn't the truth at all. But it didn't need to be that truth at that time for them, for their agenda, and you walked all around believing things. So we're trying to find a new outlet. The world is changing. It's no longer just mainstream media. There's social media. There's investigative reporters everywhere, digging deep when the big influencers don't do their job, and we're exposing truth to power. I'm glad to see that. I am glad to start seeing changes in society. I'm seeing pushback. I'm seeing mainstream media being held accountable in certain ways, and I'm seeing them change. I'm seeing them adjust it. Every time I read the news, I'm seeing ways in which they're trying to adjust to what the people are saying. I'm hoping in some aspects, and you're gonna see that here pretty soon as I dig in some of these articles, including the BuzzFeed article that I read about, where Huffington Post has a lot of layoffs going on. I wonder why. People are speaking. Like you have that loudmouth sister at Thanksgiving. I don't know, maybe bags of them, but just talking all day. They ain't really saying shit. End of the day, we're gonna do this, and you're gonna shut the fuck up. And that's kind of what the liberal media is kind of going towards now. It's like we've been running our mouths loud as fuck for 4 years about Trump and just gawking and screaming and yelling this and that. But at the end of the day, the American people are not on your side mainly when it comes to a lot of views, a lot of issues. So you have to tread lightly. 2020 was not a mandate. It wasn't. And I don't know what, I'm going on a little rant, but let me get some kind of politics. Let me go to the news. Look at some of the things that are going on today. As you know, like I said, the $1.9 trillion relief package was passed by the Senate this past weekend, over the weekend, the last couple of days, actually. And I just want to kind of go quickly about what's in it. Like I mentioned in the last episode, there was a lot of sharing, a lot of reduction in the guidelines. I think they reduced it down to $80,000 for individuals and $160,000 for married couples to be eligible for the full $1,400 payout. So yeah, we'll be I'm sorry, excuse me. Oh, that's very rude. So yeah, we'll be phasing out above $80,000 and for individuals and $160,000 for married couples. So yeah, trimming these things down over the past, they've been negotiating this package for about a month and a half, I guess, pretty much. And I guess they finally got to some conclusions, some agreements, and that's good to see. Again, some of the things that bother me is the package as a whole. $1.9 trillion, that's a lot, and I kind of worry about inflation. But we got to just kind of keep monitoring that, because I do agree that we do need the relief as a people. We do need relief as an economy. I just don't know why the reductions in, when it comes to trying to reduce the amounts of this total aid package has to be coming from the stimulus portion of it, which is only 20% about roughly of the whole $1 trillion package itself. So why we make these trims and make these cuts when it comes to the American people, we look at it a different way. Now, of course, a lot of this money, and we're going to dig into what the whole package entails, does a lot for the American people, in my opinion. But I just don't understand why we have to take the reductions or the cuts from this portion of the bill, when the relief is so needed. I think when we see this bill pass, we're going to see a boost in the stock market, a boost in the economy, uptick. Because that's one thing we can also look at for President Trump. We can look at the ways in which he inspired people to join the stock market and to invest. The young people in particular. More minorities invested in the stock market during the Trump administration than definitely young people than previous administrations. There's been an uptick. Pro business. Capitalism, free market, competition. You know, and we've seen that. So we're gonna see. We're going to keep an eye on some of these. There's articles out there about some of these youth stocks like SpaceX and GameStop. Getting a burst of equity from the youth, and get these $1,400 checks, and I mean they have no expenses, and they meet the requirements. They have the low income threshold. So they're investing about. They said Americans invest about 30 or expected to invest about 37% of their stimulus money into the stock market once they receive their check. So just some more details. I mean, I think so. When will the checks be sent? So if it's signed into law by March 14th, the first direct deposits may start hitting your bank accounts by the week of March 22nd. Paper checks may be sent out March 29th. Unemployment benefits have been extended until September 6th. Additional $300 of basically what's called the PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, which helps out gig employees and temporary workers. That's been extended to 26 weeks. So yeah, the enhanced unemployment benefits also continue. It extends enhanced jobless benefits that would last until September 6th and will continue to include a $300 a week boost in benefits. The first 10,000 of the unemployment benefits will extend from taxes for the first time to prevent surprise bills for unemployed people at the end of the year. The child tax credit has been extended. It's a temporary increase for the child tax credit for 2021. The credit is worth $2,000 per child under 17. That can be claimed as a dependent. The bill would temporarily boost the credit to $3,000 per child and $3,600 per child under 6, and it will allow 17-year-old children to qualify for the first time. The credit would begin to phase out for those earning more than $75,000 a year or $150,000 for married couples filing jointly. The federal minimum wage will not be included in this package. The $15 increase will not be included. Is there a forbearance and foreclosure relief? In February, Biden administration extended forbearance and foreclosure relief programs on federally backed mortgages. So extended the ban on foreclosures through June and allowed homeowners to enroll in mortgage payment forbearance programs. The eviction moratorium is also, there's been no extension actually. There is no extension of the national ban on eviction, which is set to expire on March 31st. The bill does not extend the moratorium because it is being passed through a budget reconciliation in the Senate, which sets limits on what measures lawmakers can include. But in January, Biden did issue executive orders extending eviction protection until the end of the month and called on Congress to keep the moratorium in effect through September. So that's actually been, so some states, also note this, that some states have issued their own eviction bans. So that's something to think about. The eviction moratorium has not been extended, so you better start paying your rent. Student loan forbearance has actually been extended through September. So yeah, there also been some more additional SNAP benefits too. So that and also like I said, this package goes. As part of this package, there's some funding for state and local governments, tax credits for families, and also boosting government spending and COVID testing and contact tracing. So we're beginning to open up. This relief package will be another boost for that, and hopefully it'll be the final one at the same time. We got to watch inflation as a whole with this package as a whole. It's just a lot of spending. But the portion that goes to relief, is finally here, and I hope that reaches Americans' tables and they can pay their bills, and we can continue to open up as a country with the COVID-19 and everything, and go from there. So here at Emotional to Witness, we want to bring you lots of information regarding COVID-19 and various politics and live and news and issues going on in the world. Like I said, you can catch me downtown every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 11 a.m., 120 East Market Street. Hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, podcast on Spotify, website coming soon. Please join me. Please be a witness. Come on out. Man, what's going on in the White House with Joe Biden and his dogs, man? This dude has 2 German Shepherds. Apparently, they've been walking around biting motherfuckers all day. Like I said, as the show title says, Joe Biden is playing Nino. Is he playing Nino Brown? Is he testing nuts? Is he testing loyalty? So apparently he must be. You know how? You know, I mean, like I said, he's starting to scare me. You know, he's Scary Joe. He used to be Sleepy Joe. One day he gonna pop on out and they go say they call me Crazy Joe. Now they call me Batman. He could be crazy with it. I'm telling you. This is the start of it. How can you not manage your dogs? I mean, you're like 98 years old with 2 German Shepherds. You went out and got you another German Shepherd. You had an old one, Major, right? His dog is Major and Champ. You know, you get the usual White House press secretary line. Oh, they're getting acclimated and accustomed to their new surroundings. Man, wasn't Biden? Well, look, I'm just saying. We know that every White House has a new pet that comes in the house. This dude has 2 German Shepherds. I didn't even know that. And they're walking around biting people. Biden and his dogs are biting people. I mean, you know, I like to say, I just worry about the management in the White House. If you can't manage your dogs, you got to send your dogs back to Delaware while you're out of town. You're not speaking to the press. Man's not talking to us really. I mean, he's gonna. I'm telling you, man. I just think it's the calm before the storm. What's he up to? I just see ominous stuff when I see stories of dogs biting people in the White House. I mean, it's something I've never heard that before. I've always heard Ginger. Look at Ginger running through the grass. Look at the poodle. Look at the short Dachshund the Carters have, or look at Gerald Ford's Great Dane. Oh, isn't he so cute? Look at the bow around his ears. You know, the old school shit. You know, when John Kennedy gets into the White House, his son is under the desk. You know what I'm saying? Take a little photo. The fuck you got? You got Biden, a photo of Biden in his. You got Biden with his hand caressing a little girl. We'll say that at a photo shoot, and then over to the left, you got 2 German Shepherds. What kind of? I don't want to see that shit in the White House. That's some creepy shit. Y'all looking for the Halloween? Let me actually get into a little detail about it, right? I mean, have you guys probably don't even know what's going on? Well, apparently, you know, they've been taking questions about this, but I guess Joe Biden's dogs, the younger one, Major, he actually injured an individual in the White House. He basically bit him. It was a biting incident. The injury was handled by the White House medical unit with no further treatment needed. Major and Champ exile to Delaware has been planned before the incident. Okay. Time with the First Lady Jill Biden's tour of military bases. And the dogs will return to the White House soon. You hear that? You hear that, White House staff? Better get ready. The dogs coming back. So is Joe Biden. Testing nuts, testing loyalty. Better get that shit together. You better get that COVID bill on his desk stat. Damn, I guess shit. I thought Joe was sleepy. I think Joe may be a gangster up in there. Joe may be in there wrecking shop. The walking cadaver on Botox. He looked like Jimmy Neutron's great-great-grandfather. But I'm telling you, that slick little quirky smile he has, I'm telling you, there's a gangster behind that. You already seen the extortion that he did with his in Ukraine with his son. We hope that gets out. The man's on video telling you how he shook dude down gangster mafia style. We call him Trump the mobster. This dude's walking around with 2 German Shepherds, like Nino Brown, and they're biting people in the White House. I mean, come on. You put being trained dogs in there. I bet he biting old Trump security personnel who don't want to leave. I bet that's what's going on. You got to test nuts early in politics, early in the White House. When you get in the White House, I'm telling you, you got to find who's loyal or who's not. They're trying to keep power, you guys. They got 2 years to do so. No wonder he's not doing any press conferences. I mean, this is me going off on a rant. I mean, this is me just kind of hypothetically thinking when I read this shit. I'm reading through the lines, okay? I'm reading through the lines and I'm saying to myself, I bet them German Shepherds are going around biting nuts. And no one can speak about it. It may be a private thing. You know, it's definitely got to be an intimidation tactic. Why you need 2 German Shepherds in the White House? It's got to be an intimidation tactic. You don't love them. Major's new. Major's a new dog. He's a younger but the new one. I don't know any detail, but did you buy him in his teenage years, or did you buy him as a puppy? That's what I want to know. Did you say, oh shit, I want the White House. Hey, go get another German Shepherd. This one's old. But to fuck people up. He probably pulled that shit off. But anyway, so yeah, I guess apparently and there's a distraction in this article too about the White House cat. I don't give a fuck about no White House cat. I never knew that Joe Biden was rocking German Shepherds. That's all I'm saying. And he's been in politics for a long time. It just kind of means something to me. I don't want to go off into any conclusions, okay? I'm going too long on it, but it just kind of goes into that discernment, okay? Use your fucking discernment, America. I've been on this show for last few shows. I've been telling you about the foreign policy, the deception, the double talk. Now the motherfucker got 2 German Shepherds out here, just probably just strolling. Can you imagine a intern's ass tightening up at the printer because the German Shepherd fucking walked by with no leash? Just sniffed his ass. Oh God, I can't do shit. If I get bit, I get bit. I ain't gonna look back. 2 German Shepherds just strolling up and down the cubicles. That's what's going down, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. State building. State building. But it goes on to that weirdness, man, like the discernment, man. Like, okay, these leaders, man, like they just don't feel right to me. Please don't do too much damage. And we get into Susan Rice. This article. Susan Rice is burning sage in her West Wing office, once occupied by anti-immigrant hardliner Stephen Miller, used to cleanse a space of negativity. When I read that article, I mean, I know about sage. I heard, people be doing that spiritual stuff, cleansing their home. So apparently she uses sage to cleanse the office that was once held by a former official. Kind of showing you like the pettiness, kind of showing you like the politics, kind of showing you like the teenage side of or the immaturity side of politics. So this article's out here about, one, she's burning sage, and the reason why, because the last guy had the cooties. So that's what's going on here, pretty much. But what's going on here when I read it, because that's how my mind thinks when I read Susan Rice burning sage, and I know how her personality really is, how I feel her political personality is anyway. I just start thinking about Mary Todd Lincoln. Let me go ahead. Let me get him with a history lesson, y'all. Hey, Malik. It's like, shit, I'm sleeping, motherfucker. What?
Yeah.
You know about Mary Todd Lincoln? Abe Lincoln's wife?
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her, man.
I didn't even know he was married.
See that shit? See that shit, America? See how our history, our constitution, our institutions, our value, our history. Let me start over. Our history is being eroded. It's going away. Malik don't know about no Mary Todd Lincoln. Man, Mary Todd Lincoln was batshit crazy in the White House, my man. She used to have seances in the White House when Lincoln was up in there. She would have her friends come over, like, I don't know, I would call them witches. And they would sit around and have seances, man. They would, I don't know, I think she would like try to conjure up her younger son who died before in the White House, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, man, history will set you free, man. History will give you some insight into the future, into what's going on currently. But history is fascinating, man. You gotta catch it before they take it away, or before it just changes on you, or it gets rewritten. But yeah, man, when I read this article about Susan Rice, man, I think about Mary Todd Lincoln, man, and she was crazy in there, man. I don't know how you can you imagine trying to run a civil war, trying to free the slaves, and you got a crazy ass wife in the house too. That's a lot. But anyway, it just, like I said, you got to watch out for who's in the White House and who's not. You know what I'm saying? Who are you electing? Because you're not just electing Joe Biden. You're electing people who, well, this one was here, but you got to see who else is going in there. Who are they nominating for their various positions? And of course, what are their agenda? What is their agenda? But who is going in there with them, man? Does he have a crazy cousin that's going in there? Man, I'm bringing my cousin, man. He holds all my Jordans. He keeps them all clean. He got the toothbrush and everything, man. My cousin, he has to come with me into the White House when I get elected. But my cousin's crazy. My cousin sells keys. You know what I'm saying? My cousin is, he's black market all the way. He's deep. He's a hustler. Yeah, but it's like, so who's coming into the White House with me? My cousin Stanley's coming, man. He details cars like no other. He has to roll with me into the White House. Is he gonna be part of your cabinet? No. Motherfucker, I just told you, go wash my cars for me in the back. Are we, so I'm saying? So now we got Susan Rice back. She's back in the White House, former Obama administration official, back with the Biden administration. She is the director of the White House Domestic Policy Council in the West Wing. She redecorated the West Wing office formerly occupied by Stephen Miller. In the room where Miller formulated Trump's anti-immigration policy, she put up Haitian art and used scented sage. The Biden administration has reversed many of the Trump administration's immigration policies. But yeah, so this article is kind of, and then she even like kind of double downs and posts a picture of the sage burning. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, this is that, this and the other. Whatever you believe in, you believe in. I respect all beliefs, but I just think kind of a little, like I said, discernment kind of makes me kind of feel a certain way. I won't dig into too much, but like I said, we got some quirkiness going on in the White House. And I just hope they don't do too much damage before 2022. And as I mentioned here on the Emos to Witness show, you can catch me downtown live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Wave 1 Media. Catch me downtown at 120 East Market Street. Come down here and get you a show, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to speak your views, your viewpoints, and your various aspects, and kind of lend a different voice to society than what we always hear, I encourage you to do so. Hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. Catch me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Podcast on Spotify, Apple iTunes as well. Website coming soon as well. emostowitness.com, where we bring you editorials and various unique content and perspectives. Hopefully, you'll be enjoying that as well. And so again, like I said, I encourage you to hit that like, subscribe button. And like I said, as we continue, like I said, the quirkiness and currently in leadership, and like I said, my prediction here on this show is that we have a change. Well, not a change. We have like a retaliation, but we have a new battle approaching. I would say in 2 years, in 2022, midterm elections. We're going to see how fed up the people really were in 2020. How bad the fraud may have been in 2020 by seeing a turnaround in the House, maybe, and in the Senate. We'll see how these midterm campaigns go. We'll see how Trump's leadership is affected and influenced in that year. Currently, he's doing some things to kind of clean up the Republican Party. We'll get into that as well. But I think that we're going to see that. I think we're going to see some leadership come up in 2022, some new campaigns, and we're going to see pushback on the Democrats and what happened in 2022. I think you're going to see a change where the Republicans control the House and maybe the Senate. And you're going to see impeachment hearings on Biden. Right now, it's been pretty quiet in the Biden presidency, and my theory is because they know that the election has some integrity issues, and they're kind of like, okay, let's walk on eggshells right now. Let's get a win under our belt with this COVID relief package. But let's kind of stay under the radar. But we're seeing their agenda roll out, and we're seeing some things that we have to question. We're seeing some foreign policy maneuvers. We're seeing some deceptions in the politics, and we're seeing some deception in the immigration policy as well. And this article, even though it talks about burning sage, one thing that it also talks about is immigration and how the Biden administration has changed some of the immigration agendas that the Trump administration has been implementing. And the thing about it is it's kind of it's deceptive, right? As we know, the cages were kids in cages, quote unquote, which I just felt like that. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, in hindsight, Trump made a lot of mistakes from a PR standpoint. I mean, they kept pointing out that these kids in cages and this child separation policy, if you just kind of spoke in more detail and kind of added more context to the issue and to the topic, you could have handled that very well. Well, better than you could from a PR standpoint. Kids in cages started during the Obama administration. Child separation policy in the Obama administration, and have these migrant children or illegal children that are coming over the border. If not most of them are again sent up here through coyotes as a child trafficking type situation, where the parents actually give them up before they're or they're coming without parents to begin with, or the people who say their parents aren't really their parents, and they're all getting money off these kids. So I mean, there's context to it. So they're trying to relocate these kids with their parents that's not really. I mean, I know it's a heartfelt, you know, topic, or it's heartfelt to talk about. Speaking from that angle. But the fact of the matter is, there's some gray. Okay, there's a lot of gray, and I just think you saw an administration previously that was trying to handle the immigration issue the best they could with the border wall, which I agree with. But the policy as a whole, I also agree with. The Dream Act, the Dreamers, we need to fix that. I mean, you're already here. Of course, you don't send people back. If they're already here, just fix the shit. I don't know about moving to the front of the line. Shit happens. For things are fair and things aren't fair, we need to clean that Dreamers aspect up. But you do need to wait your turn. I think we need an immigration policy based on merit. And I think that if you have it that way, you're going to see an increase in wages. Definitely when you secure the border up, and you bring people in that are going to bring value to the country and not drain our resources. That's the kind of immigration policy that's fair and has objectivity to it, and that I can step up and applaud and be a part of and support. Common sense agenda. But when you try to have an immigration policy that's just based on numbers, where you want to bring as many people in here as possible, that's going to drain our resources, but it's going to keep you in power, I don't want to see that. And American people don't want to see that. So what we want to do is we want to make the change in the midterm elections, and we want to see what's going to happen in 2022 and 2024. But in the meantime, we got to make sure there's not too much damage being done, because there was no mandate in 2020. No matter what happens, you look at all the state houses that stayed Republican, or how many Democrats lost their seats, and it's from the state level. The numbers just don't add up, you guys. And hopefully we'll see a voting analysis. We'll see voting integrity being pushed back, and we'll see what happened in 2020. We'll take a good thorough review, and we'll make the right changes. And we're already seeing that. And that's what I told you was so great about this country, is that you do see the change instantly. And you see right here, I got an article here from Jimmy Carter. Oh, Jimmy! I thought Jimmy was dead, man. Jimmy Carter, man, he's back. He's out. I mean, he's out. Like he pops up like he don't pop up like some old wise man. Like he pops up like the Keebler elf. That's how he pops up. He pops up like you're watching TV, and he just kind of like his head just kind of pops out the corner of the TV and says some shit. Every so often, former President Jimmy Carter has a quote, has a viewpoint, has an opinion, and we all got to hear it. He wasn't very respected as president. I remember he was responsible for the Iran-Contra debacle, ushering in Ronald Reagan's reign. But anyway, he's upset and he's angry over the Georgia voting bills. Republicans in the House of Georgia actually passed some proposals where they're actually ending no excuse absentee voting. Jimmy Carter says that, this change is rooted in partisan interest and not in the interest of all Georgia voters. The GOP push comes after Georgia favored President Joe Biden in November and elected 2 new U.S. senators in January, giving Democrats control of the U.S. Senate and cementing Georgia as a clear battleground. So Carter, who is now, Carter is 96 years old, alluded to false assertions by former President Trump, saying the proposed restrictions are reactions to allegations of fraud for which no evidence was produced. Allegations that were, in fact, refuted through various audits, recounts, and other measures. Georgia Republican legislative leaders insist the measures are necessary to restore public confidence in the election, a position Carter dismissed. So, as I said, this is what I like. I like that, there was dissension in the election. There was dissension in the way the voting process was going up, leading up into the election day, with the changes in the law, not through legislative means, in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and in Georgia. But you see in Georgia, they're pushing back. You see in Georgia, they're saying, hey, we're going to change some laws to make sure this shit don't happen again. You guys got away with it, but we got to make sure this shit don't happen again, damn it. Because American people, we know. The question is, can we fix it? Are we always going to go into the voting booth wondering if our vote's going to count? That's what we got. That's what we're trying to figure out. That's what needs to be corrected. Fairly, though. Correctly, honestly. And so it's good to see this. And this next article, I'm not going to get into detail, but that's what we need. And the next article here is just for me, just because I want to kind of expose again another Democratic leader who was up and coming, who was actually responsible for what happened in Georgia, Miss Abrams. So, like I said, the Georgia House is passing this law, and it's mainly because of Abrams. I told you, I mentioned it. Maybe I don't know what episode that was, but that's the next article. Maybe I didn't give you the Abrams one, but that's okay. I can just talk about it briefly. Don't worry about it. But let me see if I can play this video clip from Abrams. See if it comes through my mic. Kind of wanted to play this before, but let's see here. But yeah, like I said, she's upset too. She is she's the author of a lot of what happened in 2020 in Georgia. Her sister's a judge.
If you put the video in the Teams, I could play it so it'll play through the mic.
Okay. Let me pause here. Here you go, man. I'll give it to you. Yeah, and I just like I said, I'll give you a little background talk about Abrams while we're setting this up real quick. America. But yeah, like I said, Sarah Abrams, when she lost her bid to become governor of Georgia. Oh, there you go. I may have sent it to you twice. There you go. I sent it to you. I'm gonna do it again just in case. Actually, hit that last link. There you go. But yeah, it's like I said, when she claimed fraud and she claimed this and that and the other, and she went on a campaign like no other after that, and just kind of get every vote, every count, change every law, use the judges. Her sister's a judge. But yeah, after this law that was recently passed by Georgia Senate Republicans about no excuse absentee voting, like I said, man, no excuses, man. You gotta look. Okay, let me read it. Before you hit that point, let me read kind of what this is gonna do. This is called SB. This law is called SB 241. Voters would need to be 65 years old or older, absent from their precinct, observing a religious holiday, be required to provide constant care for someone with a physical disability, or required to work for the protection of the health, life, safety of the public during the entire time the polls are open, or be overseas or military voters to qualify for an absentee ballot, as it should be. The bill aims to undo the 2005 Republican-backed law allowing no excuse absentee voting. So, the bill comes as Georgia has become ground zero for election law change in the wake of the 2020 election. Republicans in the state, citing baseless allegations of voter fraud pushed by former President Donald Trump and other GOP officials, have moved to roll back access to mail-in voting and early voting. I mean, I just think it's fair. There's so much fraud that can be involved, and we've seen so many excuses, and so many allegations, and so many affidavits and sworn testimonies last year that weren't addressed, not the way they should have been. So let's hear what Sarah Abrams has to say on CNN, the Clinton News, aka the Clinton News Network. We'll hit that play. Let's see what's going on here.
Adapt to the needs of their people, but we should have a baseline below which no state should be allowed to deny access to the ballot. That's the reason the election clause exists, and that's why it's so critical that we not only have H.R. 1 and S.R. 1, but H.R. 4, which is the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, because that's going to be necessary to remedy whatever the U.S. Supreme Court does this coming week regarding the issue of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. We are at war, fighting to protect our democracy from domestic enemies at this moment. And those domestic enemies should be renounced. They should be pushed back against, whether they're at the state level or the federal level. It is our responsibility in the wake of January 6th to hold fast to our belief in our democracy and to ensure that every eligible voter can cast a ballot and have that ballot counted.
All right, Malik, that's good enough, man. You see that? You see that? That's just spin. That's nonsense. That's not. So I mean, think about it. Who do you want to believe? She's the one that's going around changing the laws, and we saw the result. This election season was like no other. So I mean, Republicans are actually we're gonna fix this, and she's coming out to you saying that we need to pass these other bills to thwart to remedy what the Supreme Court is going to do. Like the Supreme Court is not fair and not objectionable. So like I said, she's out here. She's very dangerous, man. These are the kind of leaders you got to watch out for. And I remember right after this happened, after the Senate won, after they won those 2 Senate seats, did you see the media blitz for Sarah Abrams? They touted her like a queen, like they touted her like some national hero. and they still are. You know, they're propping her up for the future. I'm just sorry, I can't elect losers. I cannot elect losers. All these people remind me of these high school class presidents, man, these hall monitors in high school who didn't have a lot of friends, you know, and just kind of like say, I'm gonna run for the hall monitor. I'm gonna get people in trouble. I'm gonna run for class president. I'm gonna be control of everybody. I want control. I can't vote for a loser. You lost you lost your election. You lost. And then now you're coming around, you're making all these changing all these voting laws, and you're changing all these, you're trying to pass all these bills to restrict, not to restrict voting, but to open and give people access to more to ballots. But I mean, are they legal? Are you doing it the legal way? And first of all, people already do have access to ballots. You know? But you guys want to walk the fine line of the law. You want to kind of pray at the edge of what the law states and kind of make it create it to your advantage. And that's what you guys did in 2020. And you're trying to keep that going, and it's not, and people see through it, and so there's gonna be some laws put in place to correct some of this shit. Because in 2005 we had a law that was working. In 2020, obviously, you must have circumvented it, Miss Abrams. So that's another leader you gotta watch out for. You think about that. You think about her and Ocasio-Cortez. You think about the young Democratic socialist leaders that want to come across. Let's impeach the motherfucker. I mean, people are saying that shit in the halls of Congress about presidents. He's not my president. Calling him Trump. Where's your decency then? You want decency in the White House. Where's your decency then? So selective. And the people just kind of eat that up, and the regular people kind of just hear that, or do you kind of just hear it and say, what the fuck I look like? Hit that like, subscribe button. Emos to witness. Catch me downtown every 10 to 11 a.m. I'm going a little bit over. But you can catch me downtown. Hit that like, subscribe button. I'm on YouTube as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Holding people truth to power. Holding leadership to power. Exposing nonsense. And their quirky behavior. And their agendas. Who do you believe? What's your discernment tell you? We got a lot to figure out before now in 2022. Like I said, Trump's on the prowl. Trump's, he's cleaned up the Republican Party, while at the same time holding the Biden administration and Democrats accountable, showing you the two differences between the two political agendas, who you can continue to make a choice, because he'll be back. I'm sure he's going to run. He has a lot of control over the GOP. Here's another example. I'm going to skip that BuzzFeed article for now. I'll probably talk about I'm sorry. Oh, wow. Sorry, y'all. I'll probably talk about big tech next episode on Friday. But another example of Trump and what he's currently up to. He's going to campaign against Murkowski in Alaska next year. Again, as you know, she's another turncoat. She's with that GOP establishment. She's with that Mitt Romney, that Ben Sass group, Paul Ryan and them that sabotage Trump at every turn, every corner, say one thing and do another, expose their true alliances right at the right time. They did a hell of a job during the election. Chris Christie, I see you out there. Lindsey Graham, and they're still out there. Man, I'm just telling you, man. I mean, even Mitch McConnell, he's hit and miss. Some days he's on Trump's nuts. Some days he's right at the right time doing what he has to do. To keep that Republican establishment tight, to keep that foreign policy tight. Like I said, Trump wants endless wars. He wants peace. The Abraham Accords. Think about that. North Korea. Peace through strength. How many Republicans really believe in that? Like I said, the deception, the groups is on both sides. The deception is on both sides. It's not about the groups. It's about the individuals out there. We gotta get those individuals out during the election. Get those Hollywood insiders out. Gotta expose them. So Trump is, he's still going. He said, I'm gonna campaign against Murkowski. We're gonna get her out of there. We're gonna get all those turncoats out of there. So I mean, you got a lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to, and like I said, the pushback is what I like to see. You know, exposure. You know, and I just think we just need here's a quote from Trump. I would not be endorsing under any circumstances the failed candidate from the great state of Alaska, Lisa Murkowski. She represents her state badly and her country even worse. I do not know where other people will be next year, but I know where I will be in Alaska campaigning against a disloyal and very bad senator. Woo! I like that. I do. I really do. Because after that, we get some term limits going on. Why we got to waste all this time? Let's get that recall more effective. Like Gavin Newsom, you know? If we don't like what the hell you're doing, get out. If you're disloyal to your party, get out. You're disloyal to your constituents, the American people, get out immediately. Before you can do any more damage. Before we hear any more of your double talk. So it's good to see this. And I'm going to, as you see this, you start seeing other things, other little hints that this is Trump's party and he's here to stay. And he's here to add more leadership. Just like this article, next article I have is, as Republicans rethink fiscal policies, a new potential model for the party emerges. See, like I said, I thought that initially that Trump would be creating his own party, a new party that would be under his agenda. That'd be based on a lot of the things he ran for. And he implemented in the White House. But he's here to stay. He's gonna take control of the party, and then with that, the leadership and the current leaders in the party are changing their political viewpoints to reflect more of the leadership of Trump. There's a lot of conservatism when it comes to economics, when it comes to Republicans. But they're opening up. They're seeing what investing brings and how to help out the American people, and how the American people need relief. And a lot of times there used to be a lot of restraint on that. And if you notice in this bill that was passed, a lot of bill changes that were made were on the Democratic side. The Senate Democrats want a reduction in unemployment benefits from $450 to $300. They extended another month to September, but it was pushed by them. They also the Senate Democrats are also the ones who pushed lowering the threshold. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing a reversal, more of a nationalistic Republican Party and more of a really I don't want to say draconian Democratic Party, but they're getting a lot more totalitarian. You know what I'm saying? We hear about the socialistic viewpoints, but you think about the media censorship. You think about even that, like I told you, Biden has not spoke to us in like 100 days, man. It's like a record. Where's his press conference? They're scared that he's going to say something stupid. Call us Neanderthals. Tell us how he really thinks. And we must bite back and push back. If we don't let that happen, we don't do nothing, our freedoms, our beliefs, our principles will all be suppressed. So here at the You Must Win the Show, we're aiming to push back and keep you updated on what's going on in politics and news and various current event issues and find the truth. Okay, so I want you to hit that like, subscribe button. Hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're coming to you live, baby, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. So I'll see you guys this Friday. I want you guys to have a great middle week of the week and push through to the weekend. Enjoy this nice weather. And I'm out.